The Record Power wet wheel sharpening system has got a jig for pretty much every tool you can throw at it. But look, here's a great one for a small penknife. It's held in place by just a simple little clamping mechanism here. So we put the blade of the knife into the clamp, like so. That holds it nice and firmly. So this shoulder of the jig is going to rest against the supporting arm. Okay, so I'm going to offer down the jig onto the stone, and what I want to do is just eye that through. I just want to make sure that I've got the right angle. It's a good idea to go with the existing angle of the blade, and that looks about right. Okay, so this jig has got a really neat little feature. If I undo this locking nut here, then the handle can rotate up or down. It's on a thread, and that actually gives me a micro adjustment. But we'll put it back where it was. I'll just double check. Yep, that's looking good. Okay, so let's turn the machine on and sharpen a knife. Now, can you see that as I'm sharpening the blade, I'm rotating the handle in line with the shape of the blade, and can you see how that is controlled by this shoulder on the jig? Can you see that? Let's go for another grind. Let's take a look at that finished grind. Oh, that's great. That's a really nice consistent edge. Now let's do the other side. Once again. We could hone the blade, but I think some knives perform better with a serrated edge, and the finish directly off the grinding wheel will give tiny little indentations along the cutting edge. Record Power also offer a jig for long knives, ideal for kitchen utensils. Similar to the short knife jig, it works along the same principle. The blade of the knife is held in a clamping mechanism, as you can see here. The jig has this shoulder which sits against the supporting arm. Now this jig is also fitted with a nice little feature. With this locking nut here, if I undo that, then you can see that the shoulder is on a thread. So that can wind up or down to give me some micro adjustment. What I want to do is just rest the knife down onto the stone. Notice the direction of the stone. The stone will be travelling towards the cutting edge. And what I want to do is just establish that with the shoulder on the supporting arm that I've got the right angle, and that looks pretty good. I'm just going to go off the existing angle of the blade. Okay, well let's sharpen the knife. Okay, now the same on the opposite side. Okay, well let's see how that cuts. Now it's worth pointing out it's not always necessary to get a honed finish on a knife. Some knives work better with a serrated edge. The grit of the grindstone will cause tiny little indentations along your cutting edge, gives you a serrated finish. So for this knife, I'm going to go straight off the grindstone.